Hello there! And welcome to Cuddly Ken's Patchwork Program. Just the right collection of funnies to tickle your chuckle buds, a few excerpts of American radio madness, and to fill in the spaces in between talking, a few carefully selected musical goodies. In fact, for the next 44 minutes, it's a bit of, and half a dozen of the other. Thank you. Me and my big mouth. Well, that's got our first record played. If you haven't quite got over your Christmas hangover yet, then that will have killed you. If you're still with us, however, it's over to the newsroom. It's just been Cut that racket! George Formby, something to make Mrs. Whitehouse just faint away.
With me little stick of black bull rock, along the promenade I stroll. It may be sticky, but I never complain. It's nice to have a nibble at it now and again.
Makes Chuck Berry's Ding-a-ling look positively religious. I was going to sing Ding Dong Merrily on High, but I can't risk it. I've already been fired once. In my years on Radio 1, I tended to be nervy, irritable, noisy. But the thing is, coming off it and appreciating the more wider spectrum of radio, it tends to slow you down so that you get terribly relaxed. And subsequently, you start appreciating the quieter forms of music. I don't mean classical music, I mean sort of gentle rolling stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd like to play. Is it all right if I play a bit?
Yes, of course.
A bit of quiet music. Lovely. Oh,
yeah, thank you very much.
Up on the BBC, there's lots of fun for you and me. On the radio, on the turntable, we try to play the best that we can find. Inside the bottles of the Beeb, there is a considerable collection of music and plays and a vast assortment of tunes and fiddly bits of things that you can stuff right up your lug if you like.
Thank you. I love you all. And now how about stuffing this lot down your lug-o? Good evening. I'm terribly amused. And this is frightfully objectionable.
Hello.
And over there is awfully sorry.
Hello.
And we're here today to discuss the amazing state of radio in the amazing states of America. Now, you've all heard this one.
That was Harvey and the Moonglows and the 10 Commandments of Love.
But how about this for new depths?
It's wonderful. Summer radio on WIL in St. Louis.
Sorry about that. What I really meant was... Yes, that's what I really meant. Ladies and gentlemen, the only difference between American radio and British radio, really, is that we're sensible and they're silly. And they've got deeper voices as well. I mean, you can't get on American radio unless your voice is incredibly deep.
Thank God for the good old British BBC. How could a chappie ever Auntie such me?
Yeah, quite right.
I got my hand up the skirt of Mother Nature. I got my foot in the door of liberty. I got my head stuck in the railings of reason. Thank God for the banjo on my knee.
It's the Kenny Everett Show. Oh, the Kenny Everett Show. Show-de-o.
I've discovered a way of keeping this programme really fast and going and really get 20 records into the space.
Really, sir? Yes.
Just by keeping air out, you know. Keeping Granny.
Yes.
I heard that, you two.
Back to the broom cupboard, madam.
Conspiring against me. I'm just a feeble female.
Oh, Lobelia.
Crisp, come into the corner and help me to get off this blues.
Yes,
I've
madam.
just developed the blues.
Give me your hand, Lobelia.
Oh, Crisp.
Oh, Lobelia.
Oh, this is such a romantic moment. In the olden days, the records really used to come to fantastic
Oh,
climax at
great
the end.
big thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nelson Eddy and Jeanette MacDonald. Great. I must play that one again just before the series ends. I'll play it tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow. Put it down, Angela, on your little pad. There she goes. Jeanette MacDonald, Nelson Eddy, what's it called now?
Maytime, sir.
Maytime. Yeah.
Maid.
What's you doing?
That's right.
I'm a fool. Yeah, we must play that because that's the best one of the oldies. And there's another one. Yeah, I'll write this one down as well. Robin Hood, the theme from Robin Hood by Thomas a Dale or something. Have you got that? Yeah? Right. We'll play those two tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. There's some really good old stuff, in the BBC vaults. It's all covered over with spiders and dust heaps, but it's there. Remember that programme ages ago when the BBC first discovered that you could work cameras outdoors, and they used to have, Cliff Mitchell or somebody leaping into a BBC outside broadcast van and rushing away, and they used to go down this road in dark and everything, and they had a couple of searchlights on the front of the truck with the cameras in, and it used to have big posters going along the side of the road saying, "A BBC outside broadcasts as they happen live." Remember?
I never saw that, sir.
And then there was the first transmission of Across the Channel, where they put a camera on the boat going across.
Yeah.
And then there was the first Telstar broadcast.
That was exciting.
That was good.
And now, Wireless Workshop Productions present
The Adventures of Rock Salmon, Part 1, in which Rock pulls it off again. Rock Salmon, rich, talented, handsome, just an ordinary, everyday television star. The sort of guy you wouldn't look at twice in Monte Carlo or the Ongar Hilton. But beneath that boring, humdrum exterior, under that gay Boilerman aftershave, lurks a superhuman. A man whose mission it is to save the world. By shouting a secret word, tedious old Rock Salmon is transformed into dynamic, heroic, explosive, masked accountant. Defender of the poor, the oppressed, the needy, who, with his faithful henchman Aubrey, or Super Clark, matches his might against the meddling of mischievous megalomaniacs. Now, read on. Thank you, friends, and good night.
Gosh, Rock, that was a great show.
Thanks.
You were wonderful.
I agree, Aubrey.
Hey, Rock, sounds like somebody's in trouble.
Some foul fiend committing unspeakable abuses on her unwilling body, perhaps. This is a job for the Masked Accountant. Quick, we must find a telephone kiosk where I can change out of this earthly disguise into my pinstriped leotard and assume my true identity. Look, there's a telephone box.
I said it was throbbing away, it was, and I told it to put it away. I said, young man, I have not finished yet.
Bother. Let's try this other one. Good, it's empty. Now for the secret word. Oh, copy. The miraculous transformation starts to take place. Rock Salmon discards his clothes to don his glittering bowler hat and spangled umbrella. But wait, who is this approaching the kiosk? Why, it's none other than Mrs. Mary Lighthouse, the shining beacon of decency. She's hurrying to telephone Lord Hill to complain about Hector's house. She opens the door and...
Police! Police!
Hello, what's going on here?
Officer, there's a nude man in there flashing his accoutrements. Arrest him this instant.
Well, if it isn't the Mad Vicar of Cockfosters. I beg your pardon. Caught you at last, my lad. What, I come along like a good little pervert and put some clothes on before you die of indecent exposure? But, officer, I can explain. I am the Masked Accountant. That's right, sir, and I'm the thing from out of London. Now, let's go to the station and tell the sergeant, shall we? But it's all a terrible mistake. Will the Masked Accountant escape from the arms of the law? Will he save the damsel in distress? What has Aubrey got up his sleeve? Do you care? Don't miss next week's soporific episode. And now it's Technical Revelations time. Yes, friends, technical revelation is something that will aid music by bending the sound of it. Like this machine is bending the sound of my voice. It's classical time on the Cuddly Ken Show. Do you remember?
Mummy, what's that thing on your leg?
Quatermass. I'm afraid I've got some rather bad news for you, Mrs. Bingley.
Oh, Doctor, what is it?
Your son has turned into a plant.
Oh, God!
Where is he? What have you done with him? We put him on the windowsill, actually. He's doing quite well. Needs a spot of water.
George,
What do you think?
George, you can't go in there.
Why?
It's the ladies, George.
Yes, quite a mash. The most horrifying serial of them all. A BBC speciality it was, and fantastic music in the background was provided by Holst, who was a classical composer whose only really famous bit was the Planet Suite, of which that was Mars that you've just heard.
And now I'm on the right, with a metronome and a very pretty girl.
Oh, Jack, you are a wag.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the LP, there's a stereo sketch.
Terrible, isn't it? Well, there's only one thing you can do with a piano like that. Shove it out the window. Hello. By Jove, they're doing it. Look out.
Well, of course, that's the sound you don't hear very often.
Nonsense, Jack. People round by us are always throwing pianos out of windows.
Gives a whole new meaning, doesn't it, to the sound of a piano coming from an upstairs window.